Welcome, esteemed listeners, to a profound exploration of Chapter 18 from Neville Goddard's Your Faith is Your Fortune, titled The 12 Disciples. Let us begin with the words from Matthew 10 verse 1, And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. Representing the 12 qualities of mind that can be controlled and disciplined by man, these disciples, once disciplined, will always obey the commands of the one who has disciplined them. These qualities are inherent possibilities in every human mind. Undisciplined, these qualities act more like a mob than a trained army. The origin of all the promises and confusion that surround man can be traced directly to these 12 unrelated characteristics of the human mind in its present state of unawareness. Affected and influenced by any external factor when undisciplined, these qualities, once awakened and disciplined, become powerful allies. As John 15 verse 15 states, Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. Let us examine the names of these 12 qualities, which reveal their natures. They are called thus after being summoned as disciples: Simon, later called Peter, Andrew, James son of Zebedee, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, Matthew, James son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot. The first quality to be called and disciplined is Simon, or the attribute of hearing. This faculty, elevated to the level of disciple, allows only those impressions to reach consciousness that it has been commanded to let enter. No matter what a person's wisdom may suggest or what their senses may convey, if these suggestions and ideas are not in accord with what it hears, they remain unchanged. Simon, instructed by the Lord, understands that every suggestion he allows to pass through the door will reach the Lord and Master, his consciousness of being, and become an impression. His instruction was to allow only worthy and respectable visitors to enter his Lord's house, or his consciousness. When Simon proves to be a sincere and faithful disciple, he receives the name Peter, or the Rock, the unshakable disciple who cannot be bribed or coerced by anyone. It is this Simon Peter who discovers that the I Am is Christ, and by this discovery receives the key to heaven and becomes the cornerstone upon which the temple of God rests. The second quality called to be a disciple is Andrew, or courage. When the first quality develops faith in itself, its sister, courage, automatically originates. Faith in oneself needs no external aid, it appropriates in silence on its own the desired quality, even when everything around indicates otherwise. With this faith develops a courage and strength of character beyond the reach of the common and undisciplined person, who only has faith in visible things. Unlike the disciplined person, who can have the whole world taken away and will undoubtedly continue with their faith, convinced that the state of consciousness they inhabit will materialize in due time. The next two qualities, James and John, are also related to each other. James represents justice, and John, love. For justice to be wise, it must be administered with love, always turning the other cheek, responding to evil with good, to hatred with love, and to violence with peace. When the disciple James, sign of disciplined judgment, is elevated to the position of supreme judge, it becomes mandatory that a blindfold be placed over his eyes so that his judgments are not influenced by matter or the appearance of things. Disciplined judgment is characteristic of someone who is not carried away by appearances. The fifth quality called to be a disciple is Philip. He asked to be shown the Father. The awakened person knows that the Father is the state of consciousness in which the human being dwells, and that this state can only be seen when it is expressed. As stated in John 1 verse 18, No man hath seen God at any time, the only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. Philip, when disciplined, persists until ideas and desires become physical reality. This is the quality that affirms, And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see God, Job 19 verse 26, and knows how to transform the word into flesh. The sixth quality is called Bartholomew, and represents imagination. When awakened, this quality elevates the person above the common or mass mind. Disciplined imagination gives the awakened person an appearance of a ray of light in the midst of a world of darkness. Those who contribute most to society are our artists, inventors, and other people with a fertile imagination. A study on why many fail after graduating from university would surely conclude that they lack imagination. It is imagination, or the lack of it, that makes a person a leader or simply one more in the crowd. The seventh disciple is called Thomas, and represents healthy doubt. This quality, when disciplined, denies every suggestion that is not in harmony with what Simon Peter was oriented to let pass. The person conscious of this remains healthy not due to genetic factors, diet, or climate, but because they are awake and know the state of consciousness in which they live. Matthew, the eighth disciple, represents God's gift. This quality of mind reveals that man's desires are gifts from God. The person who calls this disciple into existence knows that all the desires of their heart are gifts from heaven and that they contain the power to project themselves for their own expression. The ninth disciple is called James, son of Alphaeus, and represents the quality of understanding. A clear and organized mind is the voice that calls this disciple into existence. This faculty perceives that which has not been revealed to the human eye. The 10th disciple is Thaddeus, the quality of praise. When this quality of praising and giving thanks is awakened within a person, they live saying, "Thank you, Father." Gratitude for unseen things opens the windows of heaven, allowing more gifts to fall upon them than they can receive. The 11th quality is Simon the Canaanite, which represents the ability to hear good news. When called to be a disciple, it is proving that the person with this faculty is conscious of the abundance and richness of life. Finally, the 12th quality is Judas, which represents detachment. When this quality is awakened, the person knows that they must cease to be what they are to become what they desire to be. Judas is the disciplined aspect of detachment, which gives the person the strength to let go and release. These are the 12 qualities that were given to man in the creation of the world. It is the duty of the human being to elevate them to the level of disciples. When they achieve this, they will be able to say, "I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do. And now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self with the glory which I had with thee before the world was." Dear listeners, do you realize the power that resides in these 12 qualities of the mind? They are not mere abstract concepts, but powerful tools for personal transformation and the manifestation of our deepest desires. Allow me to share a personal experience that illustrates the power of disciplining these qualities. Years ago, when I was struggling to establish myself as a speaker and writer, I found myself in a precarious financial situation. My thoughts were filled with doubts and fears, and my actions reflected that scarcity mindset. It was then that I discovered Neville Goddard's teachings and began to work on disciplining these 12 qualities of my mind. I started with Simon, hearing. I set out to listen only to that which was in harmony with my desires and goals. I stopped paying attention to negative news and pessimistic opinions of others. Then, I worked on Andrew, courage. I developed the bravery to believe in my dreams, even when external circumstances seemed to contradict them. I dared to imagine the success I desired, using the quality of Bartholomew, imagination. With Philip, I learned to persist in my visions until they materialized. And with Matthew, I began to see my desires as divine gifts, worthy of being received and manifested. The result was astonishing. Little by little, opportunities began to appear. My career as a speaker and writer began to take off. And most importantly, my mental state changed completely. I no longer saw myself as a victim of circumstances, but as a co-creator of my reality. Now, I invite you to try this for yourselves. Choose one of these qualities, the one that resonates most with you at this moment, and begin to work on it consciously. It could be Simon, learning to listen selectively. Or perhaps Bartholomew, developing your creative imagination. Or maybe Thaddeus, cultivating gratitude in your life. Dedicate time each day to disciplining this quality. Observe how your perspective changes, how your thoughts and emotions transform. And most importantly, notice how your external reality begins to change. Remember, these 12 qualities are not something external to you. They are aspects of your own mind, waiting to be awakened and disciplined. They are the tools with which you can sculpt the life you desire. And here's the crucial part, you must believe. Faith is the bridge between your imagination and your reality. Without faith, these qualities remain dormant. With faith, they become powerful allies in creating your desired life. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, this sounds too good to be true. If it were that simple, why isn't everyone doing it? The answer is simple, because not everyone knows it, and of those who know it, not everyone is willing to do the necessary inner work. You see, disciplining these qualities of the mind is not easy. It requires awareness, persistence, and constant practice. It requires us to be willing to challenge our limiting beliefs, to question our assumptions about what is possible. It requires us to dare to dream big and believe in those dreams even when the outer world doesn't yet reflect that reality. But I promise you the effort is worth it. Because when you master these 12 qualities, you become the conscious creator of your life. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, but the architect of your destiny. So I ask you, which quality are you going to start disciplining today? Will it be Simon, learning to listen selectively? Or perhaps Andrew, developing the courage to pursue your dreams? Or maybe Philip, persisting in your visions until they materialize? Remember, the future is not something that simply happens to you. It's something you create, moment by moment, thought by thought, action by action. You have the power to shape that future through the conscious discipline of these 12 qualities of the mind. So I invite you, starting today, to become the master of your own mind. Not in the sense of obsessively controlling every thought, but in the sense of consciously guiding these 12 qualities towards the realization of your deepest desires. And always remember, these 12 qualities are not something external to you. They are aspects of your own divine consciousness. By disciplining them, you are awakening and manifesting your true divine nature. Thank you for being here today. May your minds be disciplined, may your visions be bold, and may your realities reflect the greatness of your highest dreams. Until our next encounter, keep awakening, keep disciplining, keep creating. The universe is waiting to manifest the highest version of yourself. Until next time. To further enhance our understanding and application of these 12 qualities, let's explore 2 additional subtopics that are closely related to the core message. The role of persistence in disciplining the 12 qualities. While we've discussed the importance of awakening and disciplining these 12 qualities, it's crucial to delve deeper into the role of persistence in this process. Persistence is the fuel that keeps our disciplinary efforts alive, even when we face challenges or setbacks. Disciplining the mind is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. It requires consistent effort and unwavering commitment. Just as a musician must practice daily to master their instrument, we must work on these 12 qualities regularly to see significant changes in our lives. Here are some ways to cultivate persistence in your practice. Set clear goals for each quality you're working on. What specific changes do you want to see? Create a daily routine that incorporates exercises for each quality. Keep a journal to track your progress and insights. Celebrate small victories along the way to maintain motivation. Be patient with yourself. Remember that transformation takes time. Remember, persistence is not about perfection. It's about consistently showing up and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it or when results aren't immediately visible. The interplay between the 12 qualities. Another important aspect to consider is how these 12 qualities interact with and influence each other. While we can work on them individually, they are not isolated entities but interconnected aspects of our consciousness. For example, as you develop Simon, hearing, you may find that it naturally enhances Bartholomew, imagination. When you become more selective about what you allow into your consciousness, your imagination becomes more focused and powerful. Similarly, as you cultivate Andrew, courage, you may notice an increase in Philip, persistence. The more courageous you become in pursuing your dreams, the more likely you are to persist in the face of challenges. Understanding these interconnections can help you create a more holistic and effective approach to disciplining your mind. Here are some ways to leverage this interplay. Work on complementary qualities simultaneously. For instance, pair Simon, hearing, with Thomas, healthy doubt, to develop discernment. Notice how progress in one area affects others. Keep a record of these observations in your journal. Use the strengths of one quality to support the development of another. Create exercises that engage multiple qualities at once. By recognizing and utilizing these interconnections, you can create a powerful synergy in your personal development practice. As you continue on this journey of awakening and disciplining these 12 qualities, remember that you are engaging in a profound act of self-transformation. You are not just changing your thoughts or behaviors, you are reshaping your entire consciousness. This process may sometimes feel challenging or uncomfortable. You may encounter resistance from old habits or limiting beliefs. But know that this resistance is a natural part of the growth process. It's a sign that you're pushing beyond your current limitations and expanding into new realms of possibility. Embrace these challenges as opportunities for growth. Each time you choose to listen to your higher self, Simon, instead of your fears, each time you persist in your vision, Philip, despite setbacks, each time you detach from old patterns, Judas, to embrace new possibilities, you are strengthening these divine qualities within you. And as you do this inner work, you'll likely notice changes in your outer world as well. Relationships may improve as you cultivate love and understanding, John and James. Opportunities may arise as you develop your imagination and persistence, Bartholomew and Philip. You may find yourself navigating life's challenges with greater ease and grace as you strengthen your faith and courage, Simon Peter and Andrew. Remember, the goal is not to achieve perfection, but to engage in a continuous process of growth and expansion. Each day is a new opportunity to awaken these qualities more fully, to align more closely with your divine nature, and to create a life that reflects your highest vision. As you go about your day, I encourage you to be mindful of these 12 qualities. Notice which ones come naturally to you and which ones might need more attention. Pay attention to how they show up in your thoughts, emotions, and actions. And most importantly, actively engage them in your daily life. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, which of these qualities can I call upon right now? When making a decision, consider, how can I use these qualities to guide my choice? When interacting with others, reflect, how can I embody these qualities in this relationship? By consciously engaging these qualities in your daily life, you're not just practicing a technique, you're living from a higher state of consciousness. You're embodying your divine nature in every moment. And as you do this, you become a living example of what's possible. Your life becomes a testament to the transformative power of these 12 qualities. You inspire others not through words alone, but through your very being. So I invite you to embrace this journey with all your heart. Commit to awakening and disciplining these 12 qualities within you. Trust in the process, even when progress seems slow. Have faith in your innate divinity and in your ability to manifest it more fully in your life. Remember, you are not alone on this path. You are supported by the wisdom of those who have walked this path before you, by the energy of all those currently engaged in this work of consciousness, and by the divine presence that resides within you. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the 12 disciples and their profound significance in our spiritual journey. May your path be filled with discovery, growth, and the joy of awakening to your true divine nature. Until we meet again, keep disciplining, keep awakening, keep manifesting the highest version of yourself. The world is waiting for the unique gift that only you can bring. Namaste.